Saludos, saludos. Bienvenidos a otro episodio de Hoy en Día TV. I am Yessi Rodriguez. Yo soy Yessi Rodriguez. Thank you all for being here with us. We are super excited. Today, we're going to have a hot topic like always, como siempre. El tema de hoy es de niños, hablando de la importancia de los niños. Today's topic is about kids, the kids ships segment of Hoy en Día TV. All right, so I want to first say thank you to all those tuning in. Gracias a todos ustedes por su apoyo, por su amor, estar aquí con nosotros. Apreciamos ustedes muchísimo. We appreciate you all. And today, my co-host is going to be Manny. Salute to Timothy. He was unable to join us, but nevertheless, we send positive vibes your way, Timothy and family. Manny, coming to the stage. Bienvenidos, Manny.
Hola, ¿cómo está, gente? ¿Cómo está? Bienvenido y bendiciones. How y'all doing, everybody who's tuning in? How y'all doing?
Absolutely,
Hey, Yessi, how's it going?
It's going great. ¿Cómo tú estás? ¿Estás bien?
Yeah, I'm pretty good. Definitely.
Yeah. Did you have a good day today?
Yes. It's been a long day, but it's been pretty good. It's definitely been pretty good.
That's good. You know, it's interesting because a lot of people think that what we do is easy, sitting up here, talking, doing just a little bit of everything because, you know, with both of us, we don't not only do Hoy en Día, but we model, we act, you're author, you know, I do other stuff, you know, it's not easy, right?
Not
and so
easy.
we just have to keep pushing and keep, you know, going for that goal.
Focused. Yeah.
Absolutely.
It's when I was just an everyday type of person, you know, 9-to-5 guy. I mean, I still am, you know, I still have my job. Pero, before I started this other journey, you know, I was like, oh, that's probably easy. Like, I don't know why those actors and those models complain so much. It's so easy. Like now I'm like, oh, I'm sorry. It's so hard. It's difficult. It's so difficult.
Now you get to feel what it is.
Yeah, but I enjoy it though. Yes, it's definitely enjoyable. So.
Absolutely. And a lot of times, like we were talking about last week during the show, if people don't try things, they don't know if they like it or not, right?
Exactly.
So it's one of those things where we obviously, it sounds like you tried it, I tried it, we liked it, and we continue to pursue it. That's the only way that you really know. Es la única vez que vas a saber si te gusta, no te gusta, si quieres seguir por delante, etc.
Yeah, but I just feel like I wasn't built for a 9-to-5.
Hey, I respect that. Yeah. I respect that. And, you know, everybody's visions and dreams are different. You know, many times a 9-to-5 is what starts because it helps fund the big dream or big vision that's right?
Exactly.
So everybody's different. So it's all good. I salute all of those who are pushing, who are just keeping themselves in the center and dedicated and focused because we know it's not easy. So salute to you all for sure doing that.
Definitely. I definitely want to shout out Tim. Prayers to him and his family. So we'll see you next week, Tim.
Yes. Prayers to you and family.
Yeah.
And talking about family, today's topic is about children, kids, the kids ship segment of Hoy en Día TV.
Yes, children, how precious.
We were once children many moons ago. Éramos niños también.
El generación hoy es diferente. Son diferentes que de nosotros.
Absolutamente.
They're so different. They're so precious, though.
Oh, absolutely.
Anything negative. Yeah.
Absolutely. And I think, and you make a really good point because I know with me, with my son, my partner and I are making sure that we keep him
grounded
for sure. And the things we used to do, like when we used to play outside or go to different places, like having that fun activities for him to know that he's loved and appreciated. I'm not saying that people are not doing this, but I will say that a lot of our children nowadays are growing up in a media type of thing. They're always in front of either TV or tablet or their cell phones or something, right?
In isolation, they isolate themselves. Yo me recuerdo cuando era chiquito, you know, my mom was like, make sure you get home before the street light cut on. And if you didn't, you know what? Those people that know. So, like, I don't understand why they don't, want to go outside. No quieren para afuera a ver el naturaleza. I don't understand. It's, and that's why es porque hoy en día los niños tienen depresión porque they isolate themselves.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And you make a really good point. I was going to make
Mhm.
that correlation as well. A lot of
Mhm.
that, because of the influence that the media and especially social media, television, what they see on TV, it really
Mhm.
influences ese pensamiento que tienen. Se ponen deprimidos, tristes, quieren competir con la gente que, tú sabes, so it's like they lose a set themselves for the most part.
Right.
And so I was searching, doing mi tarea, my homework, right, about different things that
Mhm.
we can do to help our children. And I came
Right.
across this great website. Well, actually, it's under Instagram, Big Life Journals. Shout out to you. 7
Mhm.
random surprises that will delight your child. Something that'll
Ah,
help motivate and influence them. And so the first idea that was shared was buy them flowers. Get a colorful
hmm.
bouquet, place it
Right.
on their desk before they come home from school, and surprise them. So what do you think? What do you think at going back to the age you were, being young, and your parent would buy you a flower? How do you think you would have reacted?
Um, I mean, it would have been cool. Like, I think I would have been excited. But that is more for like I see it as more for like for women, for little girls.
Okay.
But either way, like my idea would have been learn how to make flowers with them. And
Ah,
actually make a bouquet, and that could go for uh, both boys and girls, because boys like to make stuff, and then girls like to they have that creative side where they're girly, so they pay more attention to detail. So that's a good idea. That's definitely a
you
good
know what?
idea.
When you put it that way, Manny, that makes sense. I
Hmm.
agree that flowers for boys are, yeah, you're like,
Right.
maybe if you're gonna get them a bouquet of something,
Hmm.
maybe like a bouquet of, I don't know, their favorite snack or something. I don't know.
Right. Right.
To have later. But I
Hmm.
like that idea too, that twist that you put in to help
Hmm.
them create,
Right.
do that arts and crafts, bonding, right?
Right.
Creating photos.
Exactly.
That's a good
Exactly.
idea. I like that.
Hmm.
The next idea that was shared was write them a love letter, hide it inside their school bag, under their pillow, or tape it to the bathroom mirror. And so when we think of love letter, obviously it's a parent love letter to your
Hmm.
child, right?
Right.
Not like,
Right. I guess.
just to
Right.
want to
Yeah.
clarify, pero clarificar
Right.
eso, por si acaso. But writing them a letter stating just positive vibes, how
Hmm.
you're proud, how you love them, how you are happy that they're your child, they're doing great things. What other things would you recommend being added to that love letter?
I think those suggestions that you made were pretty good. I would put also that I'm proud of you. I know that you will do and be, great in this world. Um, don't give up on your dreams. My favorite phrase, trust the process, because it's always a process, even though, if- especialmente con hacer niño, tú no
Sí.
sabes nada, you're learning as you go, and it's a process and it's difficult sometimes. So, if you let them know that, hey, I've been there, just trust the process, and it's going to be okay, because that's all kids want to know, that, things are going to be okay, because mucha de los padres, they get mad, se enojan porque los niños no hacen lo que, mira, do what I say, or no están haciendo lo que necesitan, the way they want it done.
Right.
And, parents have to understand that kids are just learning, they're not us, they're not adults. And that's what, a lot of mucha de los padres that hit their kids, don't understand that, and they get frustrated. And I'm like, why get frustrated? They're children. They don't know. We have to teach them, you know? And what are you teaching them? That abuse is good, that abuse is the solution, and it's not, you know? So just uplifting is what they really need.
And you know what? You make a really, 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 really good point. I think that's where a lot of adults, well, not,
Mm,
I shouldn't say a lot, but the majority that I've encountered, I've witnessed that
mm-hmm.
where do,
Right.
they get a little passionate towards their child,
Mm-hmm.
and they forget that they're just a kid, a child. They're learning,
Right.
like you just said, they're growing.
Mm-hmm.
And so, in light of that, I also came across some other positive ways to kind of
Mm-hmm.
twist that communication. Um, so there's one where it says, "I'm not listening when you are talking like that." And so that's instead of saying, "I'm not listening when you're talking like that," say
Mm-hmm.
something to the effect of, "I want to hear what you have to say, but I expect you to say it respectfully or nicely. Please say it differently." And you're
Okay.
teaching them how to speak in a positive way. You're being the leader as an adult.
Right.
You're showing
Mm-hmm.
them, or versus
Right.
saying, "Go to your room, calm down," like yelling at them. Another way to
Mm-hmm.
say is, "I'd like to continue talking when you're calm and respectful.
Mm-hmm.
I'll be in the kitchen, so please come when you're ready or free." Or
Right.
in this example, they were in the kitchen, but wherever you are, when you're calm, you're ready to talk, we'll talk.
Right. And a lot of what a lot of parents fail to realize that they're people too, regardless if they're young or not. So you should treat them like a person, like you
Mhm.
just said. You know, when you calm down, we could actually talk about it and actually talk about them. Because I know when I grew up, it was because I said so. You know, and that was like, well, why? Because I said so. You know, and that's like it
Mhm.
didn't give me much to go on, you know. It's like because you said so, but why, you know? And you know, whenever you have a disagreement, it's always, you know, they know best. And I understand that parents, you know, have they're supposed to teach their kids, but you can also learn from your child as well because they're smart, they have their own brains, you know.
You
So
make a really
yeah.
good point, absolutamente. Y yo conozco muchos padres que empezaron bien, bien joven a
Uh-huh.
tener hijos, ¿verdad? Y obviamente cuando uno empieza joven, we're not quite mature yet.
Mm-hmm.
And so we are showing our kids, but we're
Mm-hmm.
not quite mature ourselves, right? So it's kind of
Right.
like, so it's, I'm glad you brought that up where you said learn from your kids as well, because
Mm-hmm.
regardless of how old they are, there's so much that we can learn from each other, the
Mm-hmm.
parent, the child, and vice versa, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And so going back to the communication piece, all behavior is communication.
Mm-hmm.
So when a child is acting out of a norm, the parent should be curious to understand what is happening. ¿Qué es lo que está pasando? ¿Por qué mi niño o niña está actuando diferente? Porque obviamente hay algo que está pasando. Um, Something's really challenging their behavior. They could be stressed
Mm-hmm.
out, be anxiety, family dynamics, or they just want your connection, right? Sometimes if they don't feel that parent connection, if they don't feel like they're getting el apoyo, el amor, disconnected, yeah, people are going to feel some type of way. I mean, as adults, when we're not interacting with certain people that we love and care about, sometimes we're like, hold on, ¿qué está pasando? Tenemos que hablar. So it's the same with the child. So Manny, you make a really good point.
All right.
Treating
Mm-hmm.
the child regardless of how old, because one, they're learning from you, but you can also learn from them. So I like that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, sometimes when they act out, um, they might need to talk to you, but don't know how to, you know, and that the fear that comes with being a child and feeling like you're wrong or you're doing something or saying something wrong, um, could overtake them and they act out so that way you could try to figure out, you know, so you could actually talk to them. And
Mhm.
you know, a lot of parents don't sit down and talk to their kids porque tienen trabajo y tienen que mantener la casa y they work so hard and they get tired and all they want to do is, you know, come home and relax and, you know, do their thing. Pero tú tienes que darle atención a los niños, and if you don't know your child, it's just going to get lost in communication because they're trying to, reach out to you in the way that they know how to, but you're not seeing what they're trying to say to you, So
Right.
that's another reason why a lot of kids isolate themselves and are depressed and, want to be don't want to be here anymore and get suicidal. So, every day cuando mi niño eran chiquito, todos los días before I left, or, because me and their mother's not together, before I left them, le di un beso, te amo y bendiciones. That was instilled in me when I was a kid. Since I was a kid, you always say bendiciones because that's how you greet your parents and
Mhm.
how you leave them because you never know what's going to happen. So I tried to instill in them that, I love you no matter what's going on. I love you, and I'm the type of person that my love language is touch. So I have to touch you. I have to make sure that you see that I care about you with that physical, So
Right. And that's a really good point that you make as well. Being positive, saying those positive words,
hmm
palabra positiva para su niño, is really important. And so Big Life Journal also shared things to
hmm
say. So reminding your children, I love you. I'm so happy to see you. Estoy feliz de verte. Te amo. I missed you while you were sleeping because lamentablemente hoy en día mucha gente, algo le pasa cuando están durmiendo. They may not wake up. And so being able to wake up, it's definitely a blessing, una bendición.
hmm
Reminding your child of your love and presence in their life. It'll
hmm
be incredibly reassuring and comforting for them. It's just similar to what you were just saying, Manny. Las bendiciones, te quiero mucho, ¿cómo tú estás? Dame un abrazo.
hmm
Vamos a platicar, ¿qué está pasando? Be curious, sé
Right.
curioso, pregunta.
hmm
Porque muchas veces los niños no saben, they don't know how to express themselves.
hmm Right. I agree. And I mean that also comes with um the way that the parent is actually raising them. If they don't have time for them, they're not going to know how to, reciprocate feelings or, you know, show that love, and they're always going to feel like um they're not they're not good enough, and that's what happens with single parent homes. The kid feels like it's their fault that, the father or the mother doesn't want to be there because of them, and
Right.
that's also spirals that depression también, you know we just have to, I mean, if you're going to have a child, be there. And regardless if you live in the same house, porque yo no vivía con mis hijos, pero todos los días lo llamaba, todos los weekends estaba ahí, mira, ven conmigo, let's go somewhere, let's hang out. I talk to them, you know, they just want that attention.
Absolutely.
You have to give it to them.
Absolutely.
It's not their fault they're here. You and their mother, did y'all thing, and now you have a life to take care of. You know.
And you're dropping a lot of gems and jewels. I mean, you're spot on. A lot of people don't realize that, yeah, you can be intimate and get into bed with somebody, but you got to protect yourself because there's so many
Mm-hmm.
more things that come with that level of intimacy.
Mm-hmm.
That's why I knew for myself, I waited into my later in life, in my 30s, to have my first child because I wanted to make sure I was mentally ready and
Right.
financially ready as
Mm-hmm.
well.
Of course. A lot of
It's not
people.
an easy task.
Mm-hmm. No, it's not. A lot of people just they meet at the club and, oh, let's go. And that one night of pleasure gives you 18 years of, to responsibility. So,
Absolutely.
people got to think about that.
Absolutely. And you make a really good point as well with regards to growing up, being mindful, being that present parent, because in looking in my research that I've done and different things I've come across, there's a correlation between the parents that are really not there or absent with how a person or individual grows up. And I can say that I agree with that because if there isn't that love language expressed, even as a
Mhm.
child, there's a love language that is established with his child, and it's
Right.
up to the parent
Mhm.
to figure that out, to determine what is my child's love language. But it
Mhm.
starts from the beginning to groom and positively love that
Mhm.
child so that they can grow positive. But when they're grown up in a negative and a toxic environment, what do you think is going to
Mhm.
happen? The same
Exactly.
thing. They're going to
Exactly.
see that negative correlation.
Mhm.
So being mindful of just so many things. I mean, having a child is not easy, especially in this world.
It's
Hoy en día
not
este mundo
hoy en
está,
día. Yeah, go ahead.
it's scary.
Yeah,
Me da miedo, pero
it
yo
is.
sé que nuestros niños están bendecidos. We're covered by
Mhm.
the hand of God, and we know.
Yeah, yeah,
But it's just one of those things where it's like so much has changed.
yeah. You can't go anywhere. A lot of times you can't go anywhere, you know. There's violence and just it's crazy out there, you know. You can't even go to the
Absolutely.
movies sometimes. School,
A la
you know.
escuela, right? La iglesia.
Yeah. Mhm.
Ay, Dios.
It's crazy. Pero como Dios dice, él tiene tú sabes, he has a plan. So, you know.
So, viewers, if you have any positive thoughts, ways that you interact with your child, we definitely want to hear them. Jot them down so that everybody else can see. Let's interact. Let's get your ideas. ¿Qué es lo que ustedes
All right.
hacen para positivamente
Yeah,
comunicar
we
con sus
definitely want to
hijos?
hear from you.
Sí, yes, absolutely. Y también, when was the last time you had to snuggle with your kids? Snuggle with your kids a little
Right.
bit. Hug them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Talk to
They're part
them.
of you. All right.
Right.
They're
Exactamente.
part of you.
Salieron
I,
del
I
ti.
know, you know, a lot of these young teenage boys, their hygiene isn't the best. Prepare yourself for that. Yes.
Really? So, but
But
whose fault is that though? ¿Quién tiene la culpa? Y no es el niño, porque obviamente está
no,
viendo
true. That is
en los
true.
padres, ¿no?
But sometimes, well, I mean, yeah, you could say that. Like the parents, if they get lazy, the child gets lazy, so he doesn't. You know, there's some girls out there too. Don't get me wrong. It's not all the boys. There's some girls out there.
Sí.
Pero give them a hug. You know, let them know. Let them feel. You know, porque for me, actions speak louder than words. Tú
Ujú,
sabes?
ujú.
So you could tell me I love you all day, but if I don't feel it, you know what I'm saying? If those words, I just don't feel it. But if you give me a hug, you don't even have to say anything.
Right, right.
I know, you know, it's just that feeling.
Okay, that's a good
Yeah.
point.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yeah.
so earlier you mentioned the love languages, right? And
Mm-hmm.
so with the love languages, many people may or may not know. I don't know. I recently came across love language, and I heard about it when I was younger.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but I completely forgot about them. So this is a reminder to those watching. There are 5 love languages. And so here are the types. I'm about to share those with you in just a moment here.
Okay.
As soon as my computer decides to cooperate.
Drum roll, please.
All right. So those who are not aware of the 5 love languages, here they are. 1, words of affirmation.
Mm-hmm.
2, acts of service. 3, receiving gifts. 4, quality time. 5, physical touch. So let's
Mm-hmm.
elaborate a little bit more on those. Vamos a dar más información. Words of affirmation. Palabras de afirmación y positiva. So this love language consists of encouraging, positive words, palabras positivas, and verbal or written acknowledgments of love and care.
Mm-hmm.
So think compliments and words of
All right.
encouragement. They can be as simple as I love you
Mm-hmm.
or I appreciate you. I'm grateful for you. So
All
those are
right.
words of affirmation.
Right. And like get creative. Like, you know, if it's your son, are you getting taller? You're
Mhm.
getting taller. Have you been hitting the gym? Getting buff. You know, stuff like that. And it'll do the same thing you just did. It'll make them laugh, and they'll
Mhm.
appreciate that. You know, and that's a bonding experience as well. You know.
I like that.
Mhm.
Absolutely. And even for like with me, I love I tell my son, "You're so handsome. You're so
Mm-hmm.
smart."
Right. Right. Well, he'll get to a point
affirming.
right. He'll get to a point in his life where stop that, mom. You'll see it. Yeah, he's gonna be like that, especially in public. They hate it. They hate
Really?
it.
Is that how you were when you were a kid,
Yes.
Manny?
Yes. All the time. All the time.
But I'm sure now, if your mom said that, you're like, "Ah, thank you, ma, thank you."
Yeah, exactly.
It's interesting how we go through those waves. It's like
Right.
as a
Right.
teenager, you're like, "Stop," and as an adult, you're like,
Right.
"Okay, thank you, I appreciate
Yeah.
that."
I appreciate that. Yeah.
It's like when you get carded before you buy a alcoholic beverage. When you're young, you're
Mm-hmm.
like, "You carded me." When you're old, you're like, "Thank you for carding me."
Right. Exactly. Exactly.
Okay, cool. And even for those who have daughters, you're
Mm-hmm.
beautiful. You're so smart. I'm so proud
Right.
of you. Words of affirmation.
Exactly. Exactly.
The next one, acts of service. If actions speak louder than words in your
Mm-hmm.
mantra, your love language may be acts of service. A helping hand makes them feel cared for, and doing something to lighten their load will go a long way.
Mm-hmm.
So let's see, you can help them, teach them a chore, like teach them how to fold
Right.
clothes, teach
Right.
them how to wash dishes, because eventually they're going to
Mm-hmm.
need to know these skills anyway. But at least you're doing acts of service together where you're bonding. Hey, son, hey, daughter, come on, let's learn something new today. Let's
Right.
learn how to fold clothes. Let's learn how to wash clothes. Let's learn how to clean. Let's learn how to cook, because these are things you're going to need when you get
Yep.
older, right? You're not going to
Yeah.
order out all the time unless you want to. It's up to you.
Right.
But
Oh, there's a lot of kids that don't know how to cook. Oh God.
I know. I've heard. I've heard.
Yeah, that brings up a memory. So
Yeah,
it's
what's the memory?
embarrassing, but I'm going to share it with our fans. When I was a kid, my parents taught us, my mom taught me pretty much everything. My mom taught me everything in the house. My father taught me how to fix cars. So um, they have a picture. I don't know who has it. I think it's still my mom. She has a picture of me and my brother standing on a chair in front of the sink in our tidy whities, washing dishes. Right. Embarrassing. But I was excited. Like we posed for the picture and everything, and I was like, "Oh God!"
That
But
is
yeah, it was definitely
funny.
embarrassing. Definitely embarrassing.
I don't know. Some people might ask to see that picture, Manny.
It was so embarrassing. But I just felt like a lot of kids at that age, they want to feel independent. So teaching them something, washing dishes, teaching them how to cook. Like if I wasn't outside with my father, I was in the kitchen with my mom, and my mom was teaching me everything about Spanish cooking, how to cook Puerto Rican food. And we didn't really eat pork, so I didn't know how to cook the meat until I was older. But everything else she taught me, and she made sure that I knew how to do, how to take care of myself. So just her showing me that and helping me become more independent made me feel good. So
That's awesome.
yeah,
That's awesome.
yeah.
And for me, from a woman's perspective, I learned early as well. So I definitely give shout out to my mom for
Yeah.
teaching me early how to cook and clean.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and yeah, I mean, because these are skills that I use now as an adult, and they're very
Mm-hmm.
important.
Exactly.
So, para los padres que no todavía le han enseñado a sus niños cómo limpiar, cómo cocinar, etcétera, I highly encourage you, por favor,
Yes. Take that
hazlo.
black. Mm-hmm.
Necesitan eso. They're gonna
Yep.
need that.
Take that
They're gonna
phone out of their hand. Put a broom in
right.
it.
That's a very important skill set, because imagínate
Yes.
cuando te vaya a la escuela, a la universidad, o when they move out, I mean, ¿qué van a
Mm-hmm.
hacer? Van a necesitar esos skills.
Right.
They're gonna need to learn how to cook and clean. I mean, unless you're gonna
Mm-hmm.
go there every day and burden
Clean.
yourself to clean and
Exactly.
cook and everything.
Exactly.
But qué vida vas a tener tú como un padre?
Mm-hmm.
Mm.
All right. Y mucho madre hacen eso. They baby their kids, and that's why they can't be in relationships, because they're always stuck to their mom. So
That's
exactly.
gonna be another topic in the
For another
future.
day.
Yes.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yes. And so that's why I really like talking about the ships to sales segment, because
Mm-hmm.
like I mentioned before, in the first episode, the ships to sail, it can be any relationship, not just between a man and woman, but like in this case, we're talking about children. We can talk about your
Mhm.
neighbor. We can talk about whomever, because there's so many interactions and experiences that we have, not only with people that we're close to, but with strangers as well.
Mhm. Right.
With your neighbor. Let's say, for example, you have a neighbor that has rude children that like to throw balls and stuff around, and then, so things like that. How do you interact? But again, that's a future topic. Going
Mhm.
back to what we were talking about today with children, chips to sales segment for the kids is the importance of loving your child, nurturing your child, being
Mhm.
positive, that role model for them,
Right.
and then learning and growing together.
Mhm.
And so what Manny and I are talking about as a reminder is es importante de enseñarle a los niños how to be, how to grow up,
Mhm.
wash dishes, wash clothes, cook, clean, organize, etc. Also
Mhm.
finances. A lot of parents don't teach your children early about finances, saving,
Right.
financial literacy as a whole. How do you feel about that, Manny?
My parents didn't. I know yo tenía un trabajo, mi abuelo tenía un negocio de madres. So we used to work there. Um, I feel like it was child labor, slave labor. I'm not going to talk about it though. They used to pay me $50 a week, but this is back in the early '90s. So
Yeah,
like $50 to me was like it was a lot of money.
right.
But now I'm like, I wish I could see my grandfather now and be like, yo, you owe me some money. But
But he
but
showed you how to be a man y trabajar
right. But
duro.
my parents, they would take my money and say, we're going to hold it for you so you won't lose it, and so some viejo, you know, viejo padre, they don't, my parents didn't graduate from high school, they went to work early. He, they didn't really have a lot of experience, como tú dijiste antes. Um, Mi mamá tenía 19 y mi papá, yo creo que él tenía 19, como 17, algo así, no me sé, pero they were young. So they were learning as we were learning. So they didn't really teach us how to become adults. We kind of were learning at the same time. But I feel like parents should, give their children lessons in trying to save and how to count money. Um, just how to be able to live in this life and the currency and how to do that back and forth. Because if you don't, they're not going to have any type of structure when they actually do get money in their hands. They're just going to spend it. So I think they should, even if you only give them a little bit of money here and there, that, if they lose it, oh, well, it's lost. It's only $10. But they have to learn the value of trying to save and bettering their future, you know.
Right. And I agree with you. I definitely agree with you, especially having that financial literacy to
Hmm.
understand the value of the hard earned dollar, how to
Yes.
guardar, ahorrar el dinero, what to spend it on. Um,
Hmm.
Similar to you working at a young age and getting money, I still remember, yikes, when cell phones first came out. I was
Oh
blessed
Lord.
to have a cell phone. So I signed up with US Cellular and I thought I was big
Uh-huh.
hotshot. I had a cellular bill in high school. Oh, cellular phone, I should say, in high school.
Right.
When I saw that bill, oh my Jesus. And back then, the plans were not like how it is today, where you get
Mhm.
unlimited everything. Back
Yeah.
then, you were like, you only get like what 200 minutes, and if you go over
Right.
that, it was like,
Yes.
woo!
Mhm.
I almost
The many
passed out when I saw
pages.
that first bill, and I was a teenager. I'm like, so quickly, I
Yeah.
learned how to save money. I was like, no, I got to
Exactly.
figure this out. But
Right.
I say that to say it took me that experience to really understand, like, okay, this is not going to get easier. Let me figure this out. And I asked
Right.
questions like, what do I do? Because I was
Mhm.
learning. And so for the parents out there, I highly encourage we highly encourage you to
Yes.
definitely start showing them early financial literacy, how to save, how
Yes.
to earn,
Right.
what to invest in, right? Because
Right.
again, you are their mentor, you are their tutor, you are
Mhm.
their coach, you're the role model. They look up to you. Tú
Mhm.
eres el padre, la madre,
Right.
ayudando a los niños a crecer,
Mhm.
criándolos para que
Right.
sean buen seres humanos, o sea, buena gente.
Mhm.
Y yeah, so I highly
Right.
encourage you.
But
Parents tuning in, what do you all recommend? Any recommendations, suggestions of things that we should be showing our
mhm.
children? Jot it down. We're curious to hear your thoughts.
Right. Y para los padres que no saben de financiera, you could be learning with your children. As you're showing them, they could be showing you. They could be showing you how to, look it up on the internet if you don't know it. Y'all could learn together. Because
Right.
there's a lot of parents que vienen de la isla o vienen de cualquier país y ni saben inglés. Mi abuelo, él murió sin aprender inglés. And that's a
Wow.
lot of, right. He died and he knew words, pero like to hold a whole conversation, he couldn't. Pero tenía my uncles and my aunts,
Sí.
y ellos sabían inglés, y they translated for him. His wife is still alive, and she doesn't care about learning how to speak English. She has her
Wow.
children, right?
Sí.
So, a lot
Wow.
of older people don't know, but just because you don't know doesn't mean that you can't learn. We all learn, you know.
Yeah, no, you make a really valid point.
Hmm.
Another valid point. And even going on Google or your search engine, there's a lot of
Hmm.
free courses that people can take
Hmm.
to learn
Yeah.
financial literacy.
Y son bilingüe también.
Sí.
They're not just in English. They have them in Spanish. They have them in all different types of languages now. So it's the language barrier in this day and age. It's not an
No,
issue anymore. You're the barrier because you don't feel like you can learn, but you can. You know.
was saying.
Yeah.
That's right. You are your own barrier. So,
Hmm.
for those, like Manny was stating, who do not know financial literacy, get educated, enlighten yourself. There's
Right.
different courses that you can take, whether it be paid or free. Do your homework. There's community colleges that offer free programs as well. All you have to
Yep.
do is research. Educate. Es
Hmm.
importante.
Yeah.
The next active service, Manny, is receiving gifts. So who
Right.
doesn't like to receive a nice gift?
Right.
Because I like to
Yeah.
receive gifts,
Yeah.
but it's a thought that counts, right? So
Mhm.
not the price of the gift, but what is it that you're getting? I mean, whether it be small. Hey, I went to the
Right.
store the other day. I know you like M&Ms. Here you go. Something
Hmm.
small. So
Right.
people with this type of love language appreciate receiving visual symbols of their partner's affection, or even
Hmm.
in this case, a child, right? The
Right.
child appreciates
Hmm.
it. A nice toy that maybe you heard them say last week when you were at the store, hey mom, or
Right.
hey dad, I want that toy. And
Hmm.
guess what? Maybe they got a good grade and now you're rewarding them. You're
Right.
giving them a
Right.
gift. So
Hmm.
gifting your child or your partner with whether it be a book or something that they like, just something that is meaningful to them. I mean, again, it doesn't have to be super expensive, but just
Right.
something small works
Hmm.
as well.
Right. Yeah, I agree. I definitely agree. Yeah, and the reward for doing good deeds doesn't necessarily have to be de la escuela. Some I've seen videos and some kids, they see homeless people and they want to help. You know, and that would definitely um, be reason for a reward. And sometimes the reward is you could always help them, or y'all could make something together, and share it like a dessert or something.
I
It's
like
just
that. That's
right.
good bonding.
Right.
Because
Right.
hey,
Something
you're
you've
gonna be
seen
teaching them how
on,
to cook.
right,
Hey.
something you've seen on, like social media, like Cinnabons or a brownie or something, and they like that type of treat, like we're gonna make something after dinner, or this is for after dinner, and they'll get all excited. They'll actually eat their broccoli probably.
Hey. I mean, as long as the broccoli is seasoned good, anybody can
Right.
eat that, right?
Yeah.
Season
Right.
it. really tasty,
Put some
it'll
cheese
work
on
out.
it or something.
Yes, you can't go wrong with the cheese and a little bit of
Right.
lemon juice
There
with a
you
little
go.
bit of sofrito sazon.
Uh-oh. Cooking with Yessie.
I have some dishes up my sleeve. Maybe in one of these future segments, I'll incorporate a
Right.
little cooking segment or something.
Uh-huh.
But
Let's
yeah,
do it.
so
I'll buy a chef hat.
you'll be down? I mean, hey, it's the lifestyle
Definitely.
show. We talk
Right.
about eating and everything. De todo un poco
Everything.
se habla aquí. So
Everything.
that's lifestyle for you.
Right.
But Manny, I like what you were saying because not only are you going to be showing them how to bake and cook, you're
Right.
spending quality time,
Mm-hmm.
and you're also doing they'll be receiving a gift because after they're done, they get to eat the gift
They'll
that
get
they
to eat it.
made.
Right. Exactly. And you can show them that, you don't have to spend a lot of money to, show your appreciation. They could be learning that as well, you know.
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
And so it ties into what I just mentioned a few moments ago, quality time. So with
Right.
this love language, what you long for the most is your parent or the partner, their attention, right? And we were
Mm-hmm.
just literally talking about this when we first started the show. There's a
Mm-hmm.
lot of parents, because they're so busy, they have so much going on, that the child doesn't really feel that connection or don't feel
Right.
like they're getting that attention. Esa
Mm-hmm.
atención de los padres. Entonces, for this love language, the quality time feels appreciated, especially when you're there, when you're present, you're attentive, you're being mindful, eye to eye contact. Hey, honey, how was your day, sweetheart?
Right. Mm-hmm.
Talk to me.
Mm-hmm.
Interact with them. So making sure that they feel like they're a priority. So whether it be turning off your cell phone, if you need to turn off a TV, if you need to turn off your laptop,
Mm-hmm.
one-on-one quality time. I don't know,
Right.
go for a walk. Walks are always nice. Get out the
Right.
house.
Right. If you have nature in the backyard and you have a bench in the backyard, sit on the bench. Talk about your day, and not just, let the child talk about his day or her day. Talk about your day because they're interested, in what's going on with you as well,
Mhm. And for some parents who don't know what to ask, say, hey, how was your day? What did you
Mhm.
learn today? ¿Qué aprendiste hoy?
Right.
¿Y cómo te hizo sentir?
Right. It's an
What's one
icebreaker
thing that you would
question.
do differently? ¿Qué vas a hacer
Hmm.
diferente?
Right.
These are great questions. And obviously, as the responses come, you can probe to more
Hmm.
questions. But
Right.
then you're leading the way, you're bonding, you're interacting. And hey, you're leading by example as a parent.
Hmm. Right. There's some parents that you'll be in the car with your child and nobody's talking. It's just the radio, you know. It's just that disconnect. Necesitan, get that I don't know, the be together, that the unity, I'm missing the word, but yeah,
Well,
you
no,
understand
I
what I'm
get what
saying.
you're saying.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, no, yo entiendo. Because
Right.
a lot of what is learned now, as a reminder for everyone, whether
Mm-hmm.
you're young or older, a lot of what is learned as a child, most of it is carried with you as an adult. And
Mm-hmm.
thus, there's that can impact relationships of
Right.
any sort, right? And so when you're teaching them positive ways at an early age, this helps them positively in
Mm-hmm.
the future. These are great skill sets for them to have
Mm-hmm.
cuando crezcan y estén
Right.
en diferentes situaciones con diferentes personas in their ships of different
Right.
sorts.
Mm-hmm.
So it's important, es importante, bien importante. Physical touch is the
Mm-hmm.
last one. So, do you feel comfortable and secure when you're physically connected to your child? Hopefully, you do because it's your child, and the
Right.
child, if you're a mother, the child came from
Right.
you. Unless,
Right.
we understand if you're adopted, that's completely different, and we respect those that took that route to adopt.
Mm-hmm.
But physical touch, nevertheless, is still important, right? People like to receive the hugs, they like to feel the warm and fuzzies. And to many people, physical touch is the main love language, and
Mm-hmm.
so they want to feel you giving them a strong hug, cuddle, whether it be a kiss on the head, or what have you, something
Right.
that really shows them that affection. That it's like,
Mm-hmm.
hey, I'm here with you, because
Right.
this world is not easy, and those
Right.
kids need to feel that.
Right. Yeah, I agree. Like just being there and on the couch with them, just somebody's laying on somebody's lap, or like you said, a strong hug.
Mhm.
And me and my father used to wrestle. Yeah,
Oh, okay.
but that was I knew I felt love because we used to wrestle a lot. Like we used to wrestle. We wouldn't hurt each other, but like we used to wrestle. And that was my favorite time to spend with him. Like we used to wrestle a lot, and like
Mhm.
he could be just doing something, and then I'll put him in a headlock or something, and he'll just grab me, and then we'll start wrestling. So that was really fun. Yeah.
That's
Stuff like
awesome.
that. Yeah.
And I know you being a man, and at that time you're a boy,
Hmm.
from what I gather, most boys like that aggressive type of
Right.
wrestling, playing
Right.
football or what have you, playing, just sports and stuff. So that
Hmm.
makes sense as to why you really enjoy that. So that's great.
Right. Yeah.
I think
Yeah.
for me, I would say I always appreciated a hug. Um,
Hmm.
and also hearing the words, I'm proud of you.
Right.
I think with me, I appreciate all aspects of each love language, 1 through 5. And I feel like all of us do have that in us. And so once we continue to grow and our children continue to grow, most of it gets groomed into like one or two, like what's the first and second. But in essence, all of us need all 5 love languages. I mean,
Hmm.
to me, they're equally as important,
Right.
expressing that,
Right.
because again, what you do at a young age, you instill as a young child,
Hmm.
it grows with them as they continue to grow. So
Exactly. Yeah. For those that didn't have a lot of love languages in our lives, for
mhm,
the viewers that didn't, you should be the one to break the cycle.
right,
Start loving on your child. That's why, because my parents weren't really loving. Like my father, he didn't really say "I love you" or "I'm proud of you" and stuff like that. I knew he loved me when we wrestled, and stuff like that. Helped me with, I helped him with the car and stuff like that. Um, and my mom wasn't either. She wasn't really an affectionate person till my son was born. Like she didn't actually tell me she loved me till my son was born. It was weird. But
oh,
as when I was growing up, I was like, I'm going to, always tell my kids that I love them and give them a hug and a kiss, because that's what I've always wanted when I was a kid and
right,
never got it, you know. So, we as parents have to break the cycle of what we didn't want as a kid, or be that reflection of what you wanted when you were a kid, so that way your child could grow up different than you did, you know.
absolutely, I like that, and I agree. and
Right.
and even if for a parent who may not know how to approach something like that, ask.
Hmm.
I
Right.
mean, it doesn't hurt to
Exactly.
ask, hey,
Hmm.
daughter, hey, son, whatever their name is, what can I do differently to help you make
Right.
sure that you know that I love you and I appreciate you?
Right.
Asking questions, probing
Hmm.
them. It's going
Right.
to go a long way. And I agree with you. Let's be that change we want to see, that we would have hoped that we had in the past.
Exactly.
Past the past. Ya lo que pasó, pasó. No se puede cambiar. Ahora, ¿qué
Nope.
vamos a hacer en el futuro para cambiar la situación de nuestros niños for the
Right.
positive?
Right.
So those are great, great words.
Hmm.
Uh, and so parents, tune in. We want to hear from you. Padre y
Yeah.
madre,
Definitely.
and even kids. I mean, all of us are somebody's kids. So
Right.
what
Exactly.
was something that you all wanted to feel or hear from a parent that you didn't hear? And
Right.
what words or recommendations you have for parents that are raising
Hmm.
children now? This is a team effort. Like old saying, it takes a village to
Raise a
raise a
child.
child. And so that's
Hmm.
what we're doing. That's why we're having this kid
Right.
sheep to sales segment, because we want to make sure that our kids are growing in a positive environment. They feel loved, they feel nurtured,
Hmm.
and they know that they are respected and that we're here as parents for them.
Right. Exactly.
So tune
Exactly.
in. We definitely want to hear your comments. We want to hear what you have to say. And yeah, I mean, again, there's a team effort, right?
Right. Exactly. We all have to chip in, because some people might have different values than others, and we could help each other. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And just a disclaimer for those watching, these are our opinions, right? This is myself and Manny's opinion. So
Right.
we're not trying to make anybody feel any type of way.
Right.
This is
I'm
all
not trying to tell you
positive.
how to raise your child.
Right,
Yeah.
right. You can, listen,
Right.
take
Mm-hmm.
what you feel in your spirit it should be received, and
Mm-hmm.
keep on going with your day. I mean,
Right.
that's what I do at least too. I
Yeah.
say, okay, thank you for that. Okay, let me
Yeah.
keep moving. I like that. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
yeah. But I just want to throw that out there because sometimes
Right.
people may
Mm.
misconstrue the information.
Yeah, I'm definitely not trying to
All
tell
love,
you
all
how to.
positive
Mm-hmm.
vibes. Would you say,
Right.
Manny?
No, I was saying I'm definitely not trying to tell people how to raise their kids, but we all have to learn, and we don't all have the answers. We're not always right, even though most people say that I'm always right, but you're not. You're really
Right,
not.
right,
So
absolutely. Absolutely. Well, we are about to wrap up. Manny, you have so many great
yes.
things coming up. Remind the people how they can find you, how they can follow you.
Okay, so I'm Manny, as you all know. You could follow me on social media, Facebook and Instagram, Author Manny Morales, and at Author Manny Morales on Instagram, and I don't think I have, but yeah, Author Manny Morales on TikTok as well. So yeah, I'm out there.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Well, for those who don't yet know me, I am Yessie Rodriguez. You can find me on Facebook under Yessie Rodriguez, IG Yessie Rodriguez. You can Google me, Yessie Rodriguez. And you can find us here, Hoy en Dia TV. You are watching Hoy
Yes.
en Dia
Every
TV.
Thursday at 7:30.
That's right. Manny, any last minute words that you
Yes.
want to tell the people?
Um, yes, listen to your children. And sometimes it's not words that come out of their mouths. Watch them and see how they act. And, if you don't like what's going on, help change it. Don't just, feel like, oh, they're just going to grow up that way because that's what they're doing now. No, it's because sometimes they're trying to find their way in the dark and you're not the light that they need, but you are. So be that light that they need to shine and help them understand this ever changing world.
I like that. Those are really nice
Thank you.
words.
Thank you.
Really nice words. And I
It's good.
echo
It's
everything
good to
that
be an
Manny.
author.
Hey, that's right. That's right. I definitely echo Manny's words. And as a reminder, be that change that you wanted to see when you were a child.
Mm-hmm.
Treat your child the way you would have wanted to be treated. Or even if you feel, hey, I had a great childhood, that's perfect. Instill those great childhood memories into your
Right.
children. Keep
Right.
that going. Keep that cycle going
Mm-hmm.
because that positivity is definitely going to keep spreading. And that's what we want. We want to help raise positive individuals in this
Right.
ever changing world because it's not easy.
At
But
all.
here, one step at a time,
Yeah.
one step at a time. That's all we can do.
Yeah.
But nevertheless, we're about to wrap. Thank you all for tuning in. Gracias a todos ustedes
Thank
por estar
you.
aquí con nosotros, por su apoyo. Tune in Thursdays, Hoy en Día TV. Until next time. Dios
Thursdays.
los
Till
bendiga.
next time.
Yes.
Bendiciones.
Y'all